You good there? I heard an owl.
Well, you see, I'm having dinner. I was working out on the ladder again, and actually I noticed something. So I like to work out with like the weight jacket, and also now I've worked out with extra resistance.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't activate it. Like
Hmm.
literally.
So you're just wearing a thin vest, essentially.
Yeah, but even if you build all that strength, that's not going to mean a thing unless you take the vest off and the resistance off, and you actually, get you like do the workout without any resistance on, so yeah, I can actually feel that extra strength go and you can actually use it.
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
Yo, what's up?
There's back, and it's just us. I thought, if you didn't have anything to talk about, I had something we could go into.
All right, go for it.
Well, we've already done a couple of these. It's kind of part of my interview series. We've done the Who is John Roberts, and Anuj, you're famous in different ways than he is, but I think you're pretty famous in the Atlanta-based area. Would you say that's correct?
Well, I don't know about the entire Atlanta-based area, but as you may know, I gained a certain notoriety amongst our graduating class, if you will.
Yeah, and you've been on this show several times, but I thought we could get into kind of your background. Maybe people are wondering how you got to where you are today, from inception all the way to government secrets or whatever you're doing right now. So,
Well, it's government secrets in space, but I'm not get to the government secrets part yet. I got a little bit of a way to go, just a little bit. But yeah, well, let's start from the beginning. I was born in Atlanta. I was raised in Johns Creek. It was an interesting place to grow up. I mean, when I grew up, it was kind of a tight community, tight bubble, especially in the neighborhood and also the adjoining neighborhood. I'd like to think we all knew each other and we all kind of grew up together. We were always around. We were always hanging out with each other. We always saw the same faces, whether it was at like school or at social functions, you know, stuff like that. I will say that as I grew older and I got into high school, if you've ever been to a super competitive high school, then you'll probably understand what I'm about to say. There's the kind of competitive where everybody's pushing each other to be the best version of themselves, and they usually just like encourage each other to be better, and they push each other, and everybody's growing and developing as a result. And then there's the kind of competition where people climb over each other. They don't build each
hmm.
other up, but rather attempt to push each other down and claw their way up to the top by any means necessary. Unfortunately, that's the kind of high school I went to. I didn't realize it until I grew older, but that's what Northview was like. And
Yeah,
part of that might have to do with the fact that we all grew up and we were all around each other, so we're kind of always like in touch, and everybody kind of knew everybody's business. Like, oh, how many AP classes are you taking? Are you taking tuition? Are you in debate club? Are you in math club? That kind of crap.
yeah. So you've kind of, and a lot of people know you today as a very competitive person, but what you're kind of getting at is that was kind of how you grew up, and your neighborhood, your environment was very competitive, right?
Yes, but I wouldn't say I'm competitive in the fact that I'm going to bring you down. I'm just going to try to be
Well,
the best
no.
version of myself. That's
No,
how
yeah,
I
I didn't
view
mean
it.
it that way. I just meant that
Yeah.
just kind of how you grew up. You've always been known to be to try to be your best, yeah. And I think that shows in how you are right now too.
Thanks,
So,
man. I will say I'm thankful for Taekwondo because it helped keep me grounded. I was able to train it for about 13 years actively. I got to my third degree black belt, but it kept me grounded and it kind of gave me that drive to be better. So it was a lot of fun. and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to pick up anything new. You pick up a martial arts, you'll learn to get better, you'll get fit, you'll also learn how to stay committed.
Oh, okay. I could take a hint, like my commitment issues. Um, yeah.
Nah,
Are there
man,
any
it's
other
fun.
hobbies you want to talk about that you've been doing for a long time?
Um, Ironically, when I was growing up, we had a thing. So I'm Telugu, and when I was young, we had a something called a Telugu Association of Metro Atlanta, and that was part of that whole Indian people community we grew up in. We were all around each other. We did some things. We put on some cultural events. It's been a while, but for some reason, there was a thing we did, and I was in it, and I was supposed to be a trumpet player, and from there that's kind of how I got encouraged to pick up the trumpet. So I started in fourth grade when we still had the elementary band program. Too soon for the elementary band program. And I never quit. I never looked back from there. But I also trained in piano for a bit. Actually, for a bit, I mean, for 10 years. Now I'll just freelance. I have a keyboard. It's a lot of fun. Just noodling around, doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into the music side of things. I mean,
Of course,
you definitely have a passion for music, um,
it's fun. Music and sports, my dude.
music and sports, and I think you kind of found your calling. Um,
Ironically, I didn't do much of it my first year at Tech.
yeah, do you want to explain that? Some people don't even realize that. If they didn't know you back then, they thought, oh, you've been doing it your whole life or whatever.
I
You've
didn't
been
even do it
following it.
in high school. So
Yeah.
where I went to middle school, we had a thing called eighth grade night. And when the idea was we had to go to a high school that we were probably going to go to. In my case, it was Northview. And we basically got to be in their marching band for a day, which was fun. But also you have to bear in mind, this is Northview. And it's a very competitive place, and it's also a very high stress environment, simply because of competitiveness. Which is why I never did marching band in high school. I didn't think I could handle it. And then I got to Tech. Didn't exactly think I was gonna say. I didn't exactly think that it was gonna be easy that first semester. So I kind of want to feel things out. And also, given the fact that I've never done marching band before, I definitely wanted to just ease into it. Of course, I joined symphonic band. That's how I met the drum majors, Don Andrews and Parker Bunton, and she graduated after that semester. Catherine Schramm. They're really nice. They're really good to me. And they and Joyce and Chris and BJ convinced me to join at Surround Sound my first semester. So I joined so I joined the next year. And well, the rest they say is history.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about your time in the band, like kind of your favorite moments, your biggest achievements, maybe some down
Man.
moments? You don't have to talk
Oh
about those, but
man, band was a lot of fun. Honestly, I think band is why I survived Tech.
I was gonna say I think a lot of people would consider it one of your defining traits,
Of
right?
course.
Um,
Of course.
it's just
Uh,
when people think of you, they think of you screaming on the sidelines or
well, stands, but close enough.
oh, I say silence stands, maybe on the sideline too. Uh,
I don't even think we do stuff on the sidelines.
no, but
It's
when
only
you
on the
walk
field
down
we would
like
stand.
before we go on and they're still
Yeah,
playing the game.
sure.
I think there
Yeah,
was a
sure.
moment, maybe it was like a UGA game or something, where we were on a sideline and we scored, like right before halftime. But yeah, yes.
No, no, I
Yeah.
don't recall.
Well, maybe I made it up. Anyway, putting me on the side, on the stands, running around in practice. Do you want to talk about,
Of
yeah, any of
course.
those special moments that stand out?
Let's see. Probably my favorite moment was beating Georgia in Athens, 28-27, my first year. Which is I still got my rat cap from that year. So a fun fact, I actually should have two rat caps. The rat cap from 2015 when I actually got to Tech, which I filled out despite going 3-9, albeit incorrectly. I filled it out incorrectly. I'm gonna confess. But I lost it. I lost it in a baseball game at NC State. I never found it. I don't think any of the staff found it either. So, but then I got the Rat Cap in 2016 when I actually joined the band, and I still have it today. I still have it here. I almost lost it. It got stolen illegally, ironically by my
Mm,
section leader.
mm.
I got it back, and I still have it today. Definitely my biggest point. I don't think I had a low point. Probably the least high point was losing to Citadel. Although,
Yeah.
well, it's an FCS school. What do you expect? I mean, I wouldn't even say getting blown out by UGA is that bad, as bad as losing to the Citadel or getting blown out by Clemson, especially when those teams were all college playoff contenders. Because at that point, it's not an expectation that you're going to lose. It's more of a hope that you're going to win. But the expectation is you're still going to go out there and you're going to give 100% no matter what happens, both for the players and for us in the band, regardless of the score. So
Yeah.
that's always there.
Is there anything you want to talk about college-wise outside of the band? Something maybe people don't know about you.
Well, outside of band, so right now I work at the Aerospace Corporation. I work in the Cyber Assessments and Research Division. And yeah, I had a great interest in cybersecurity, and we have a cybersecurity club at Georgia Tech. It's called Gray Hat. I would attend the meetings. They had some interesting presentations. They had stuff about reverse engineering, some of your basic hacking techniques like your reverse engineering, your SQL injection, your basic web exploitation. But then they had some more interesting stuff like They talked about cryptocurrency. They talked about some NSA sniffing stuff. They talked about some pen testing exercises, tales from the trenches, stuff like that. I actually attended one of the tech talks that I attended while I was in Gray Hat. Ironically, was also given by the Aerospace Corporation based on capabilities that we've worked on, and some that I actually did work on, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and
But
I've
yeah,
seen you.
outside of band, that was my thing. Was Gray Hat. I was a computer science major. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, how about your social life? Do you want to talk about that? What'd you do for fun outside of the band stuff? Did
I
you get
mean,
around to see the city or?
I tried. Most of the, if I did, I was usually like hanging out with my sister who was in med school at the time for a bit before she matched. My third year of college, she matched as a med peds resident in Tulane, where she is now and is about to enter fellowship. Well, we'd hang out, we'd go around the city together. It'd be fun. I wasn't much of a frat person, and I really did that. I wasn't into that kind of stuff. But I did go to the CRC a good bit. That was my other thing. I kept fit. So you could call me a gym rat if you want.
Uh, yeah. Do you want to talk about your sister or any other? You have any other siblings outside of?
Just my older sister. Her name's Shama. She's also a Georgia Tech alum. She did her undergrad in biology, and she was pre-medicine. She went to med school at Morehouse School of Medicine, which is just a few exits down, give or take, closer to I-20, near Grady, actually, pretty close to Grady. Now she's med peds resident in Tulane. She's about to go into fellowship. She wants to do pulmonary critical care. Hopefully she comes back to Atlanta, or if she ends up in Virginia or Baltimore, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I guess are you the only one in your family that's outside of Georgia? Well, I mean, I guess she is right now, but
Well, yeah, my parents are still in Georgia.
your parents are still in Georgia, so I was getting
Yeah. Shama's in New Orleans, but she might go back to Georgia. And now I'm in Virginia, and Don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to resettle unless I find another job. And truth be told, I kind of like where I'm working. We'll see.
Have you been back to Georgia
Yes, yes,
in the
I have been back
past?
to Georgia.
Because I
I'm
guess
actually
because you've been working that job for, I guess, 2 years now? Is that right? About
year
two
and a
years?
half,
Year and a
year and a
half?
half.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
right. Yeah,
was
that's
an
right.
intern for only two. I was an intern the summer before my last semester of college, but that's only 2 months.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it a
Okay.
year and a half.
So in that past year and a half, you've been back. I know there's been other circumstances in the world that it might have
No,
changed your
I've been
plans,
back.
but
I've been back. I've been back. I've been able to visit my family. We've all been able to hang out. I've flown down a couple of times. A few during the holidays. I made the drive. It's a 9-hour drive. Honestly, driving sucks. Given the choice, I'd rather fly. But driving also has its own perks. You actually have a car. But yeah, I've been able to come back to Atlanta. I've been able to visit. I'm actually looking to go back sometime in September.
sometime
And
in
I've been back
September.
to tech. I have been back to tech.
I'm sure you can't even recognize it.
Well, I don't appreciate what they've done to the Campanile. That's
I
all.
think they'll rectify that soon.
I really hope they do. Cause man, that was the shit, right? We'd go up there, we'd perform, and like we'd set up on the amphitheater. I don't know what they're gonna do now. I don't know what they're gonna do. It's
Yeah,
not gonna be the same.
I suppose not.
Yeah. Hopefully they bring back the fountain and at least they give like some kind of space where the band can like gather and perform in a public space that people can like hang around and watch while they're doing their tailgating shenanigans.
I assume they've got a plan for that.
I haven't seen it. Have you?
No, I haven't.
That makes two of us. I guess we'll have to find out next week or something.
Um, yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about with your late life? Otherwise, we can go back. We can go back in time, back to your early childhood.
Whew, that's a blur, honestly.
Yeah.
Only notable thing, well, I started Taekwondo. I got my first degree black belt sometime in elementary school. Or rather my second degree black belt, like late in elementary school. There was a spelling bee, which, was interesting. But other than that, really, early childhood was a bit of a blur. Honestly, I think middle school is when things got interesting. Got my third degree black belt. The River Trail Symphonic Band went to the GMEA in service conference. That was an interesting experience.
Do you want to talk about how you got into, cybersecurity and I guess computer science in general?
Now, that's an interesting story. My
Like what?
dad's actually his computer science major.
Yeah, I was going to ask what
He's
your parents
a
did.
tech alumnus. My dad is a tech alumnus, class of 1988, and also a Georgia State alumnus, master's also in computer science. You could say I kind of picked it up from him, with some of the challenges he'd pose to us and that we try to work through. And then from there also with cybersecurity, it's like I watched a lot of movies when I watched like action movies when I was younger and I saw people like hacking into things and it was like seemed so cool. And then
You
of
wanted to be the
course,
guy in the van.
yes, I want to be the guy breaking things. And then I actually learned about, wait, this is actually important kind of thing. And then I also learned, hey, maybe I could actually be the guy that sits behind the computer and breaks things for good. I don't have to be the guy in the van doing the heist thing when I can also help defend against that kind of thing by at least helping people do it. And that's eventually what I think I want to get it and what I want to get into is that kind of space is pen testing. Right now I'm doing cyber capabilities development, which is also a very interesting challenge because you got to be able to have that kind of vision of what are those threats out there and how can you defend it.
Okay, so is that kind of the next phase in your career, I guess?
Yep. That's at least that's the aim. And actually, right now I'm pursuing my master's in cybersecurity, so hoping to get more into that category, especially if I can get my clearance.
And I believe that's online too, right?
Yes, it's online, what makes it actually more challenging.
How so?
Well, you got all this free time. It's kind of self-paced. You got to make sure. It's basically up to you to make sure you don't fall behind, and it is very easy to fall behind.
Okay, so what's your tip to staying I
Uh,
guess ahead of schedule?
Probably just have schedule, at least like block off like an hour in the day or like 2 hours where you can just sit and work and do schoolwork.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, you're a pretty good student. Do you have any tips for incoming college students? You know,
I
how
actually
they
wrote
can
a Reddit
manage.
post about this.
You wrote a Reddit post
I
or you
actually
read
wrote
one?
I wrote a Reddit post. It was a new student welcome, and I had a few tips. And at the time, I was about to graduate, and I wrote my own tips, at least for first years. Would you like to hear them? Let me find it first.
Yeah, so go ahead. We'll hear your tips. I guess I think I've seen some of those Reddit posts. You know, there's a lot of people coming in the college not sure. And again, you were a pretty good student. You found a job, so you had some success at least in that
Yeah,
aspect.
I had a good bit of success. So here's what I wrote in that post. First off, don't overload yourself your first year. So that's something I kind of picked up because like I didn't want to come in there and be like, okay, let's take like 14 credit hours and just get this thing over with, and then pretty soon you find yourself drowning in coursework and credit hours, and you got to. So basically, the idea was like, don't do that. Don't burn yourself out. Don't overload yourself your first year. If you're gonna take like 14 to 15 credit hours, like on average, like maybe go down to like 11 or 12 that for your first couple of semesters. Take the time, find what you love about tech, find what you love about Atlanta, because you're not gonna have that time when you get to the 4,000 level classes. Trust me. So that's tip number one.
Okay.
Tip number two, I wrote here, don't expect the journey to be easy. Because everybody's going to come in here. You're probably like top of your class in your high school. You got really good grades. You're probably a straight A student in high school, but it's not going to matter because if you're not prepared, tech's going to eat your lunch, which is why we have freshman forgiveness. So you can actually learn from mistakes.
And I think they expanded that to not just freshmen, to anyone, is that
To what?
right?
Any 1,000 and 2,000 level class?
I don't
Or
know
is it just
exactly
any
how it works.
1,000 level class?
I don't know how it works. Oh, luckily I didn't I didn't need to use it, but
Yep. You and me
uh,
both. That's tip number two.
okay, keep going.
Tip number three, take care of yourself. So I know the thing is had some issues with mental health and especially with the seemingly lack of quality facilities that seem to be present at Tech. The point I was trying to make is like, there are facilities. I mean, they may not be the best, but they are there. Ultimately, it's up to you to take advantage of them and use them to the max utility. But if you got to drop a class, drop a class. If you need to talk to somebody. And just if you need to take the time off from academics, like if you need to drop your full course load, then just go for it. Don't kill yourself, please. So that's tip number three.
Okay.
And then the last one I had in here is be proud. You know what imposter syndrome is? You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that tends to be a thing, especially at a elite institution like tech. To which I counter by saying, I'm going to quote this from my post. You are at one of the most prestigious institutions of higher learning in the nation, if not the world. You may feel that you're not qualified because your peers did more in high school or outside school than you. But remember that you were chosen because of your potential for something greater. If you're willing to put in the work, Georgia Tech will help you achieve that potential. As you can guess, my informal sub tip in there is please wear your rad cap your first year.
Mm.
Just a tip. It's like wear your rad cap, run the cake race, go to Midnight Bud. There's some cool traditions. You're at a great institution. Be proud of that fact. You can show your tech pride, take part in the traditions. But the point is, you made it. You made it to a place that's probably going to change your life forever, if not right now. And even if you're not qualified, like you're not here because of what you did. You're here because of what you've demonstrated that you're going to do. It's a combination of both. And then
And
you
I
just
think,
got to put in the work and you're going to get where you want to go. And tech's going to help you get there. It's like Nick Selby said. If you want to change the world, you're at Georgia Tech. You can do that.
yeah, and I think a lot of what you said can apply to any college or just a new setting, right?
Yeah, it could. I guess you could call it like a general, here's how not to die in college.
Yeah.
I feel like more so at tech because like we are great. I mean, it is kind of a stressful environment though, although that's although how you deal with it is ultimately up to you and the company you keep.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can attest to this. Like, there's people that like, there's communities out there that will keep you grounded. Like, the band kept me grounded. Like, there's society. Like, if you're a Greek life person, that's a good place to go. If you're an ROTC person, that's a good place to go. But find your community. They'll help you stay grounded, and it'll be for the better.
Okay. Um, well, thanks for the tips. Is there anything else you wanted to cover? Anything else that people, again, don't know about you or would explain how you tick, why you do the things that you do?
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I never really cared about that kind of thing, like what people knew about me, what people didn't. I'm just me. I'm I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be the best I can be, and I'm gonna do what I love. That's basically it.
I think something that a lot of people are wondering is, do you drink coffee? I mean, where does the energy come from? You know, because you always seem to bring all of your energy in with everything you do.
Protein, lots of it.
It's all protein then.
Well, not all of it, but I don't drink caffeine, specifically chocolate protein. But yes, I do have a bit of an unhealthy addiction for hot chocolate, or at least I might have a bit of an unhealthy addiction to hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Oh yeah, hot chocolate. That's the good stuff, man.
So why hot chocolate as opposed to cold chocolate?
I don't know. It's just a thing for me. It's like if it's hot, it's good. Like whenever my parents, like we want to go out to dinner, like I always tell my parents, like as long as it's hot and it's like good, that's all I care about.
Hmm.
That's when I'm really hungry. Which, by the way, I do need to ask you this because I've
Oh boy.
asked a lot of people at work and they all think I'm crazy because I do this. Do you warm up your cereal before you eat it?
No, that's crazy.
Are you kidding me? Okay,
What am I
so
eating?
I'm the
Oatmeal?
only one
No.
that. Well, here's because so we can agree. Can we agree on cereal before milk?
Yeah.
Okay, but we can't agree on then put the entire bowl in the microwave and warm it up.
Why do you need it to be warm?
'Cause it's so good.
Okay, what kind of cereal though?
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Now, I feel like even room temperature. What do you feel about room temperature cereal then?
Uh, I think it's just like hot milk. Honestly, that's what it
Well,
is.
that's what your microwave cereal is.
But still, when you actually like eat it, it's like it's so sweet and it's so good. I love it.
It shouldn't be any sweeter, right?
I mean, I've never actually tried cold cereal, so
If
I
anything, it would
wouldn't know.
get more denatured in the microwave. I don't know. I've never tried hot cereal or whatever.
Neither have like half the people at work that I've asked.
Half the people, so the other half have done this.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you're just too afraid to ask other people.
I mean, at this point, it's just a meme.
Do you do it at work too? Is that
No, I just do this at home.
okay? You don't like bring in a cereal and a box of cereal and milk and just start chomp it down and
Nah, that's not lunch. Lunch is
I don't
usually like a sandwich or whatever is like good that I can cook at home. It's
I don't know if
usually
you eat breakfast at work, you
like
know?
nah.
Are you going to
When
work?
if I got
Are you
oh
back in
yeah, I'm
person?
back in the office. We're back in the office.
Okay.
And honestly, I think it's for the better. I love being in the office. Not only do I actually like have an incentive to wake up early so I can go in and meet people and see people, and like also not only are the people that are actually in the office like really cool people to hang out with, but our gym is open.
Hmm.
And I got a lot like don't get me wrong, the apartment gym is good, but like there's a lot more at the office gym. Like there's a lot more variety of things I can do. They even have a Smith machine, which means I can do squats and bench pressing.
And you do it at the off? You do it during work hours on
No,
your
I do it
company's
after work.
time. Okay.
No, I do it after work. I work, then I change clothes and go to the gym, then I come home.
Hmm.
So that's the other incentive for actually waking up early, so I can go into the office, get done at a reasonable time, and then go to the gym.
Okay. Yeah, I get so when did you go back? You just out of curiosity.
So I was in Georgia for a spell, from May to June, and then sometime in June I flew back, and then that week I came back, I started going into the office again. I think it was actually 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah. So I was in town for Memorial Day. I flew back on June 6th. I got back here on June 7th, and then I went into the office.
Okay. Yeah.
So now that now basically I got a thing now. I'll go in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But Fridays I'll stay home because either I'm teleworking or I have that Friday off because of our work schedules.
Yeah, I feel like with your job, you could have people just work from home permanently or do, like you kind of said, like a hybrid kind of a thing.
Yeah, you
Uh,
could. For me, it's just personal preference to be in the office. That way I can actually like talk to people because like especially if you have like technical problems, you can actually just like go into the lab, find a friend and be like, "Hey, can you work through this with me?" It's a lot more efficient than although if you do call the person, then it works, but on the whole, I'd rather because at least for with that kind of collaboration, it's better for me. It's really personal preference. Some people can do their work more productive, if not as productive, from home. Me,
yeah,
I kind of like being in the office.
I think you're going to see a lot of people staying at home,
Yeah, I
'cause
wouldn't be
people just,
surprised. The only reason they probably go to the office if they're working on something that they need the lab services, like they need the lab resource, or it's something that they shouldn't be talking about at home.
hmm.
because, well, I shouldn't be talking about it at all.
Well, now you have to say what it is. I mean,
Basically, you're going to the office, you need the lab, or you're working on like super sensitive work.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I was like, what are they? Yeah, because you have government secrets. I forgot. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, we work for the government.
government secrets. Well, you're a
Don't work a
contractor for the
secret.
government, right? Isn't that?
So the model is we're not a real, we're kind of a contractor, but we're not a real contractor. We're what we call a fully funded research and development center. Now, the thing you have to understand about federally funded research and development centers is you can't really say that our products are products so much as you can say that our product is knowledge
Oh,
and
this sounds like a fake company.
expertise.
This already sounds fake.
Are you kidding me?
This already sounds like some scheme.
No, it's not. This is actually like a business model. Like Congress literally budgets money for these research and development centers so that they can produce what's called staff hours of technical expertise, which is basically like they're given money to look into problems and provide solutions and advice to customers, whether that's military or whether that's civilian. It depends. Our focus just happens to be space.
Okay.
Hence why we're called the Aerospace Corporation.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your product's knowledge. How is your product knowledge?
Like I said, we provide solutions and we provide advice. The idea is we provide if someone needs us to look into a problem, then that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the research. We're gonna have experts look into it, and then we're gonna basically come up with the plan of action. It may involve creating like an actual product. It may involve creating a prototype, just as a proof of concept. But that's some of the things we'll do. It's like
So,
working in a lab.
so almost like a consulting company
Yeah, it's a combination of like a consulting company and a lab.
and like R&D, like an R&D consulting
Yeah.
company.
We also do some support for like launches and stuff too. Like
Huh?
we'll actually like have I think we actually have had people on premise for launches.
Is there anything else you want to cover? I mean, we can start wrapping up soon about your life, about anything else, any other interests that you didn't mention already. I think you covered pretty much all of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So let's go into your future life. Where do you see yourself in? I mean, not to make this sound like a job interview, but you know, you already kind of talked about it a little, but what about 10 years, 15 years? Is there a family in the future? Is there
Yes.
a house?
I do want to have a family and I do want to be permanently settled down. Like right now I'm quasi permanently settled down, but I wouldn't say I'm permanently settled down, or at least I'm not permanently settled down until I've bought a house and had a family.
Any
But yes, I do
romantic
want to.
interests
Not
currently?
yet. Not yet.
Any prospects?
Well, for one, I hate dating apps. But
Hate
that's the
dating
thing.
apps.
Yeah, I hate dating
What's
apps. But
what's
that's
the
about it.
problem with dating apps?
I don't know. It's just hard to kind of be able to capture who you are. At least that's what I.
I
That's
think
what I'm
you're
thinking.
very much an in-person kind of
Oh
person.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I don't think I can't imagine, and I've known you for several years now. I can't imagine like trying to understand who you are through a picture and some tech,
Yeah,
200
it's like
characters or whatever. Like you
it's
wouldn't
like
understand. All right,
yeah.
so
Like I'd
but
rather like go out and meet people instead of like use a dating app.
have you met anyone recently? I mean,
Not
fill
that
your
I call romantic interest, unfortunately.
oh, so nothing romantic yet.
All in good time, my friend. All in good time.
You're not hopping around the DC area, hitting up the bars.
That's not my crowd.
Oh, I meant the I don't know, computer bars, whatever that would be.
All in good time.
Okay. Uh, any big purchases lately? Just out of curiosity.
Define a big purchase.
Something you would want to tell me about.
I mean, other than my, other than coming back to tech from a grad degree, not really.
Did you get a stimulus? Did you get stimulus checks or whatever?
I didn't get the first two, but I did get the most recent one.
Or are you just making way too much money at your top secret job?
I actually got the most recent one.
Okay. Didn't get the first two. Is that an accident? You may need to follow up with
No, it was
Joey
because
B.
it was because that tax year I was a dependent,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which makes you automatically ineligible.
Yeah, your parents could have been eligible depending on their, yeah.
I think they were. I'm not sure though.
That depends on their situation and whatever
Yeah,
else. But okay.
but yes, theoretically they could have been. So could have I think my sister could have been as well, and I think she was.
You probably, yeah. I mean, whatever. Okay.
Um,
Well, is there anything else you
But yeah,
want
I got the one this year because I was no longer a dependent, and somehow I was eligible, I guess.
is there anything else you want to mention before we head out?
No, not really.
Okay, well, you got to give me something to end on here. You can't just say, no, I'm good.
Well, go Jackets.
All right.